Okay, it's time for another cartoon. Um, this one I drew pretty recently, um, and I drew it in McDonald's. It's a kind of a quick, rough sketch, and let's just flesh it out and see what we come up with. I I didn't put as much time in this one as I normally would. I just kind of it's not a complex concept or cartoon, but let's get it underway here. Alrighty. There we go. There's the focus. Hopefully that will square itself away. Alright, I'm gonna do a little on the fly editing with the positioning of the paper here. And we're gonna select our first fancy pen. I'm gonna try it with this one, see if this will work okay. And as per usual, we're gonna start in the foreground and go backwards. And I'm just drawing his kind of an awkward angle at his hand. It's one of those, it's an angle you don't normally draw it at, so bear with me here. And I'm drawing it's kind of a, unless you're kind of always drawing your cartoons at like the straight 90-degree shot or whatever, sometimes the results can be a mixed bag. In this case, let's hope I can make it work. Sometimes it's one of those, you kind of just do the best you can and see what happens. This one here, it's an odd angle. I'm just gonna admit that. I'm just gonna plunge through and hope for the best. The just that hand, the way that hand is. What can I do? I'm moving on. I got too many others to do. I can't. You'll probably hear me say this a lot, that I've always got, doesn't know matter, I always have like 1,000 more cartoons to do, and it's not even an exaggeration. I tallied it up in my magic book, how many I had just sitting there in various states, and I think it calculated out to somewhere between 1,300 and 1,500. And I'm always thinking of more, so I'm always way behind, and I'm always feeling like I have to hurry. I got a lot behind me, but I still have a lot more to go. And anyway, yeah. So right now I'm drawing a cop. You've probably noticed in the right hand side here, I have the caption. My daughter gave me the idea of, hey, why don't you throw the caption in even before, or clarify it, and that way they can kind of see what the heck you got going on there. I thought that was a good idea. So anyway, I put the caption in, saves me from having to go through it, and it might be interesting to you to see, well, how is this all going to make sense? What's it's not even a funny caption. So there's part of it. So it's just the policeman. He's just reporting an incident he's run across, that he's pulled over a vehicle, obviously, and he's calling it in. And I normally I don't like to get that close with my lines. I kind of like to engineer the drawing so the lines are not totally crisscrossing, bisecting a head. There's a couple techniques to clarify. I think some people totally ignore it, but I kind of like to keep a head in a clear background or a blank, clear or a solid background, so I don't have a lot of lines coming out of the head. And there's other techniques. I know it's some people, they just kind of white it out around the head so you can see. And I understand why they do it. It's not a technique I like. Okay, so because I got such a wide swath, I'm going to turn my, I know that's probably annoying, you don't want to turn my page, but I'm going to turn, okay, so now I'm going to draw the folks in the car here, and the folks in the car are golf clubs, and I've got a putter, driving the vehicle, and so I'm gonna, I did it again. Yeah, so I also don't, if I can help it, I can't always help it, but like this line here kind of bisected at the same place as that other one. I don't like doing that, but sometimes it can't be helped, or sometimes you just forget and move on. And so this guy is a nice sand wedge. And just another iron, a long iron. I don't really want to touch the putter, but sometimes you get in a hurry, you don't think it through. And put in another car seat. And then here's the Big Bertha driver in the back. And I'm just gonna put this in here. And he's in the back, being driven, and put in another iron of some kind, doesn't really matter which one. And let me put in the seat again. So I forget this talk because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this. This one's going to come down here, so I'm going to bring this down. And the back window's not going to be as much. So let me just do that real quick. It kind of worked out all right. I've sort of framed the driver in the back, and we'll kind of put this over here. You get your backgrounds too complicated, and look at what I've done here. So anyway, there we go. Okay, so obviously it's a car full of clubs, and they're driving down the road and got stopped by the policeman. The policeman has them pulled over. He's saying, "Hey, what's going on here?" obviously the putter, you'd think, hey, can a putter be a driver? That doesn't make sense. And there we go. So right now I'm just going to finish up the bumper here. And the car, you know, there's a with cars, it's like, how do you want to make them real, or do you want to just, you know, make something that sort of resembles a car? What are your thoughts on cars? I kind of like to make them as generic as possible, unless the gag is specifically about the car and it has to be complex, because I always feel like, what if this cartoon is seen 20 years from now? I like people to look at it and be as entertained 20 years from now as they are today. So I tend to try to totally generic up my cars. Now in this case, I've got a pretty simplistic background nonetheless. I'm going to throw a traffic sign in here, just to, I don't know, eye candy, I guess. I don't probably don't need a traffic sign. They're in a car, so it should be pretty clear what the heck's going on, but I don't know, I just always like to, I don't know, I have a tough time bringing myself to just have a line in the background, and so often I'll just throw some stuff in there. It doesn't have to be a crazy sophisticated deal. I just like to have something more than a line. Obviously it's not a great deal more. So he stopped alongside the road. I'm going to color the road a different color, and I'm going to throw in a cloud up here for no good reason other than the caption's probably going to stay right where I have it in the page here. So just kind of balance it out. I'll throw in a cloud. I might toss in a bird too. I don't know. Let's see. We'll see. What do I want to toss in a bird? Throw in a bird. Why not? Okay, so there it is. It came out okay. I kind of like it. You can read the caption there. I don't know if I'll change that much. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. And we're going to call this a finished video here. See how it went. And we'll show you the finished product here in a little bit. There it is. And ta-da! There it is, the finished product. As you can see, it remains largely unchanged from its black and white counterpart. I'm gonna start off with the grade. I'll give myself a C plus. It was a nice little cartoon. I'm a little unhappy with maybe the positioning of the policeman. I would maybe change that, but like I said, I'm just gonna keep moving forward and zip on to the next drawing. I I was thinking about adding the caption that I have in the title there, maybe underneath saying um, license and scorecard, please. But we'll see. We'll see. But there's the end. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.